Hey everyone, Ron Bernier here from BaseballSimResearch.com. Today this is just a quick add-on video to show you the two additional features that I worked into the Board Reader 40A. So I'm going to go ahead and start a new game here, copy the lineup, start game. So if you don't use as-played lineups, this is a feature that I developed for the soon-to-be-released cross-season board reader, where you can pull in teams from multiple seasons into the same board reader to play each other. Load custom lineups. So if you're not using as-played lineups, you don't want to have to manually load up the lineup all the time. Let's say I wanted to save this particular Toronto lineup without a pitcher. Let's say first off, if I click on List to start off, the default lineups from the lineup sheet for 2016 have already been added. So those will be there for you. So if I wanted to load the default lineup, I can. That's from the lineup sheet. So you got 3 buttons involved for the visitors, 3 buttons involved for the home team as well. To save the current lineup, so I'm going to go back here, copy the as-played lineups and use this particular one. If I want to save this visitor lineup, I can just say, Stroman, or I guess since I removed him, I'll say versus right-handed pitchers, let's say, if this is the lineup I'm going to use for righties. So I saved it, it'll tell you lineup saved. If I, to get that to show up here in the drop-down list, because right now it still only shows the default lineup, I click on List Visitor Lineups, and now I should have the default and then the versus right-handed pitchers. So if I start a game and I actually want to load that saved lineup, I just come here versus right-handed pitcher and choose load that lineup. Now you notice it did remove Stroman. You can save a lineup with or without a pitcher here, and actually for National League games with or without a pitcher batting ninth. So let's see. If I choose a National League game here, Colorado at Arizona, I take De La Rosa out, boom, because I want to use this lineup as a template. I can do, and let's say that's versus left-handed pitchers, right? It saves it for that particular team and only for that team, so you can have 30 teams in the majors. You can have 30 different versus right-handed pitcher lineups as long as there's one per team. If you go to save it as the same name, if I go to save this again versus left-handed pitcher, and I already have a lineup of that name, it says lineup name already found, overwrite yes or no. If I say no, I just have to now save it as a different lineup. So set a lineup that you want to save, click on save, give it a name. To see all or show all the lineups available for a team, click on list visitor or list home. Of course, save home lineup saves this lineup down here, the home team. Save visitor saves the visiting team. So I click on list visitor lineups, right, versus left-handed pitcher, load this lineup, boom. So if I reset this game, and again I can choose that versus left-handed pitcher, load the lineup, boom, and then I can fill in the pitcher with whoever. So that's feature number 1. Feature number 2 is on the play-by-play, and these are all these features are in addition to what's already covered in my other video. Play-by-play has a page to HTML and selection to HTML. If I click on page to HTML, everything that's in this play-by-play is actually copied to the clipboard as HTML, and selection to HTML allows me to select a subset and copy it to HTML, or copy it to the clipboard. So to give you an idea on how you can work with that, I just finished up game 3 of my 1982 ALCS between the surprising Tigers, which are basically a Jekyll and Hyde team. They won 21 of 22, but then they lost 7 of 8, 10 the season, and now they're up 3-0 on the Angels. So if I want to take this entire play-by-play, I can do page to HTML. Since most of you know about NPNG from from the Delphi form. I'm going to show you how it works with the Delphi form. If I come in here now, I just choose paste, right? You'll notice that it actually copied it in as HTML. So if I preview it now, this just looks like gibberish, right? It's not gibberish, but if you're familiar with HTML, it's not gibberish at all. So if I delete this, if I click on source, right, this actually changes to allowing you to input in HTML. So if I paste that in and now I click on preview, you'll notice it looks just like the spreadsheet. All right. So that's one way. You can copy the entire play-by-play. Most of the time, though, you won't have to copy the entire play-by-play because, top of the first, nobody out, went 1, 2, 3. Not really all that applicable. So I've got a thread that I've got posted, ready to post here, which is a recap, short recap of Game 3. If I type in what I want to say other than the HTML that I'm going to add, right? So I've got all these different, Angels get a run in the 8th, and I want to put the play-by-play there. The 7th for the Tigers, I want to put the play-by-play there. So I basically create that post without the HTML, and I'm going to now switch to HTML. Click on source, that switches it to HTML format. This is that blank line that's in between Angels jump out early in the 3rd and Tigers tied it in the 4th. So now I want to just copy in the Angels top of the 3rd, right? So I can go over here, Angels top of the 3rd, I can highlight that, click selection to HTML, and paste that in here. Seems a little weird, I think, at first for you. If you're not comfortable or familiar with HTML and how it works, etc. But once if you follow this video and set up your structure of your post and then replace these blank lines, which anytime you see bracket P bracket and NBSP semicolon / P, whenever you see that, basically that's your blank line in HTML. So I'm going to add the Tigers bottom of 6. Don't copy there. Make sure you click selection to HTML. If you copy it, it'll just be that text. It won't come out right in the post. So I'm going to add the bottom of the 7th for the Tigers. And I got 2 blank lines at the end. I'm going to replace them both here with the Angels' 8th inning. And now when I preview that, you'll see that it added from, this, I had this line, or I should say I had this line, and then a blank line, and then this line. When I switch to source, it's HTML format. I can copy in the HTML, so you can add to your posts. Maybe I'll end up perhaps highlighting the at-bats that had run score. So like Cabell, that Enos Cabell at-bat might be highlighted at some point, but that's my post. I click on that, I click on continue, and there's the post that I just made with the HTML. So those are the 2 new features. This version is now live. I have started, like I said, with the cross-season spreadsheet. I'm actually going to use that to import all the teams from the other spreadsheets that are already released to actually create version 4.0a versions of all the current board readers. You can visit my website at www.baseballsimresearch.com or at www.ntlpt.com for national pastime, and for whatever reason those may not be showing there. It's not showing on my PC. Hopefully it is on the video. That's it from here. Thanks.